Attention, 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 calling all ambitious property sales and marketing professionals. Seriously, we need urgently to talk about the OPR hike that affect the property market. The OPR hike is indeed a necessary evil. True. No joking. Trust me, what you about to read inside this newsletter is a wake-up call for you to orient a better way to improve yourself in your selling career. For starters, let's do a preview on the salient points about property sales performances experienced by developers. Also, they are confident that they would not be impacted much by the overnight policy rate OPR hikes. Upon deep research, builders have discovered that the rates are still lower when compared with the rates prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, developers profess there is no big deterrent due to rising building material costs. It is because most of these costs have already been incurred earlier. This was revealed that most of its current projects have contingencies. Make no mistakes, the rising cost has been mitigated by their wise planning. In fact, developers has already taken into account the incremental costs as far as raw materials is concerned. Their cost of building is now insignificant as most constructions has reached the advanced stage. Additionally, to further offset any cost increases, developers are using different building designs and materials to suit the newer developments. That said, let's dig deeper into the core of this week's bulletin. Are you game? I bet you are ready. Here's goes. Breaking news. OPR hike would not affect property market. Pedaling Jaya. Land and General BHD L&G is confident property sales would not be impacted much by the overnight policy rate OPR hikes. Its managing director Lo Gay-Tech noted that the OPR level at 2.5% now is still lower than what it was prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. With the opening of more economic sectors, businesses are resuming to normalcy. The hike in the OPR would not affect the property market very drastically. The overall effective interest rate people are paying is around 3.7% now, which is not too bad, Lo said. We have been enjoying low interest rates for some years. The effective borrowing costs at 3.7% or 3.8% is still manageable and there is no big deterrent as far as property purchases are concerned, he added. Lo also said he did not think there would be any further incentives that would be introduced for the property sector in the coming budget 2023, following the home ownership campaign which had ended last year. Lo said the company is continually on the lookout for good land banks to acquire to increase its future development potential. Our land bank inventory including our estate is about 3.280 acres. If you minus out the estate land it is about 700 over acres of land. Up north we have about 30-odd acres of land which we have not developed. In Johor we have 13 acres of industrial land. While in Australia we still have approximately 100 acres of which 98 acres is bungalow land which we are in the midst of selling. We target to completely sell out in 2 to 3 years, Lo said. Meanwhile, he said the issues of rising building material costs does not affect it as much as other players as most of these costs have already been incurred earlier for most of its current projects at hand. Our projects are already at an advanced stage of completion. For the Astoria Phase 2, there may be some incremental construction costs. But the structural costs are the main components of the building, namely cement, steel bars and mechanical and electrical works, he said. Since this project where the construction is ongoing, has already reached the higher floors, Lo noted that any cost increases will be manageable, moving forward. Our costs are mitigated in this sense for new projects. The feasibility studies would need to take into account these incremental costs as far as raw materials are concerned and the increase in labor costs, Lo said. He said one way the company would mitigate the cost increase is to use different building designs and materials to suit the newer developments. Commenting on its recent 3.55 acres land acquisition in Puchong, Lo said the project would be able to sell well because of its good location of being next to the IOI Mall Puchong and an LRT station. We just got news that the development order for this has also just been approved, as we are targeting to kickstart the launch the first quarter of next year, Lo said. Need I to say more? I guess not. Now that we've reached the end regarding the problems of OPR jump that caused the uncertainty of the property situation, it's the right time to close with a big bang. Not to sound like a broken record, let's do a quick review. Shall we? Thanks. In short, and upon reflection, we should never underestimate the seriousness of the OPR increase that could cause inflation in Malaysia in the short and long terms. If you recall, builders have found that the OPR changes are negligent as compared before the COVID-19 pandemic. As said, developers profess there isn't any massive deterrent due to growing constructing cost. It's because the bulk building expenses have already been incurred earlier. Due to the preparedness of developers having allocations for such contingencies. Be reminded of the growing OPR charges that has been mitigated due to builders' wise planning. In fact, developers has already taken into consideration the incremental cost incurred by OPR hike. Plus their cost of construction is now insignificant as maximum structures has reached to the final stages. Additionally, to offset any cost increases, builders are using economically one-of-a-kind constructing designs and substances geared to healthy lifestyle. Since we are exposed to such problems, we must ask ourselves as concerned sales and marketing individuals, how can we help? My sincere advice is to sell or rent more properties in spite of the hike in OPR rates. Are you in favor? Hope you are. My parting words would be said by Jeff Bezos. He is an American entrepreneur, media proprietor, investor, computer engineer. He says, real estate is the key cost of physical retailers. That's why there's the old saw, location, location, location. End of quote. P.S. Although this is a lengthy sales and marketing property newsletter, yet we want to congratulate you for watching and reading this bulletin completely. Since you already read this news, therefore, you now deserve more forthcoming weekly free chapters of the book, How to Handle All Kind of Sales Objections. Plus, we are eager to know which part of this sales and marketing property newsletter you learned most. Your feedbacks would help each other be more proficient. Remember, these sharings will continue in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course in our author, trainer and consultant's email, josephsung@gmail.com. Upon request. Alright. Thank you. We hope to meet you next week. Goodbye and best wishes. From me, yours truly, Madam Sophia, the virtual presenter to CTM Joseph, the 27th of September 2022.